Hey guys, I'm Alex from technoclass.com, and this is the Kata M1. Now the reason why we have it outside the box in this review, well, we are still downloading something and the courier is already here to pick it up. So we are trying to rush this review. Kata M1 is a very big 5.7-inch phablet with a full HD display and quad-core turbo 1.5 gigahertz processor and a 13 megapixel camera. Now the specs on this guy is pretty impressive, and the build quality is also quite impressive. 4,000 milliamp hour battery, by the way, very big. So yeah, we are gonna review it right now. This is priced at $11,999. Although there was a pre-order bonus, it will bring the price down to $9,999. I don't know if that's still available, but there you go. Kata M1 review coming up right now. Alright guys, so like I said, it is a pretty big 5.7-inch phablet. I'm just gonna do the whole walkthrough of the box here, if I can. There we go. So inside the box we have a sort of a Kata, little bit of a user guide there, small guide, a USB charger in this shape, sort of an elbow shape. What is the milliamps? 5 volts, 1 amp, so fairly decent fast charger. There is a micro USB cable for charging and data transfer, of course, and a 3.5 millimeter headset. Now inside here, which should be a pretty big battery. Now I want to show you the battery right now. Hopefully the phone doesn't turn off. I'm just gonna pop the back. The back is actually one of the toughest backs to remove, in my personal opinion, especially since it just sort of kind of nubs on the back right there. We're getting there. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Alright, so on the back here, as you can see, there is 2 SIM slots. One is a micro SIM, one is a regular SIM. There is our micro SD card there because we are installing stuff. Look at that battery. It is pretty big, and that is great for battery life. In front here, as you can see, this is the 5.7-inch large phablet display, full HD resolution, 1920 by 1080, and as you can see right here, there is the I believe a 5 megapixel front camera and some notification LED over there, probably a proximity and light sensitivity sensor as well. So there is a notification LED there. You won't notice it right now though. Over on the bottom there is a home, back, and menu button in the lighting in where it does light up. The screen itself, the front itself, is sort of a curved glass, which I really like. As you can see right there, it's sort of a fingerprinty from what I might use, but I like the curved glass, the full black. You know, it sort of hides the display, sort of hides everything, and I like that kind of phone. You know, just a shiny black slate. On the left side, there is a volume rocker in white. I do believe there's a black one. I'm not sure. On the bottom, there is a pinhole microphone. On the right side, a power button in white. Very hard to see, I guess, in this color, in this condition, in this lighting condition. On top, we have the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, the micro USB port for charging and data transfer. On the back, which you might have seen earlier, is a large sort of a white background there with the Kata logo over there, and their sort of koi branding over there. And interestingly, the speaker grill is up here, which sort of creates some very interesting, you know, speaker modes. Anyway, 13 megapixel camera with LED flash. I like the design. It's a bit big, but it is not, you know, excruciatingly big. 5.7 inches is a great sort of phablet size, and the full HD display looks really good. I have this on lowest brightness, and as you can see, macro shot right there, really nice looking. And I do like the sort of curved glass in the front, and I like the curves on the side as well. Makes it easier to grip. It's a bit big. So it will polarize some people. Some people will not fit it, be able to fit it into their pockets. So there you go. That is the design, and we are going to move on now to the interface. Alright guys, so here we are checking out the interface of the Kata M1. It's a pretty short name. I'm used to saying a lot of words before the entire title of a phone is said, but this is a pretty short name, Kata M1. And it is, what I like about this interface is stock Android. Hooray! Really, really nice. I really like stock Android. As you can see right here, very, very smooth for stock Android. This is running full HD 1920 by 1080, 1.5 gigahertz quad core, 6589 turbo. Now, typically, the combination of full HD screen and the 6589 turbo has problems running full HD resolution. But as you can see right here, this is very, very smooth. For this purpose, I guess. Most phones that I've tried with this combination full HD turbo processor will usually lag even on the interface. One thing I will say about stock Android, it might not be the best for phablets because there is no one-handed mode. So that's that's a little bit of the disadvantage here. It is slightly hard to reach all of the ends right there, but that is, I would gladly have stock Android over skinned Android with a one-handed mode. Anyway, so the camera is more or less the same from what we've seen before, but the camera quality is pretty good even on low light. As you can see, there's HDR, there's beautification modes and stuff like that. There's a 13 megapixel camera, and results on this guy is pretty impressive. As you can see, it focuses pretty well, and the quality of that shot is actually pretty nice. 5 megapixel front camera is great as well. Let's check out some of the pictures we've taken. As you can see, this was from Good Morning Kuya, which is a morning show, and stuff like that. So I'll show you some of the pictures of this guy at the end of the video, but rest assured the images are pretty good and the camera quality is good as well. Now, one thing to note, like I said before, that the battery is 4,000 milliamp hours. 4,000 milliamp hours is really big for a phablet this size, and we did our our battery rundown test yesterday, and we got 6 hours and 59 minutes of video playback. That is currently #1 in our video playback test battery rundown. So that means the Kata M1 battery is really, really good. Like almost 50% more than your typical phone. So there you go. That is the interface and the battery life and cameras. We're gonna move on to some gaming right now. Alright guys, so here we are checking out a game called Riptide GP2. This is one of the sort of very, very graphically intensive games out there in the market. And surprisingly, this game runs pretty good. Despite a few slowdowns here and there. As you can see, when I hit the boost, it does give us a little bit of slowdown, but it doesn't look as it doesn't seem very unplayable. It actually is very playable. Tilting works fine as well. It's a bit of a slowdown there, frame skips and stuff. There you go. I'm going to do a stunt so we can do another hit the nitro turbo thing. It's a bit of a slowdown there. This, like I said, this is not, you know, the best for gaming. The combination is definitely much more for display, high quality display type of users. But if those high quality display type of users want a little bit of gaming as well, this is not so bad. Probably I've tried gaming on other 1080p 6589 turbo, and I think this is probably faster by just a hair because of the stock Android interface. So yeah, Riptide GP2. We are going to move on and try another game right now. Alright guys, so here we are playing a game called, I'm getting a message from Messenger. This is a game called Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. You might have heard of it. It's a very graphically intensive game. And let's see, I want this, no, flick steering, there we go. This is a very graphically intensive game, and this runs, oh, there you go, some frame skip right there, but this runs pretty good on the Kata M1, surprisingly. I was totally expecting that the game is kind of slowed down. Let's try and catch a commotion here. There's a little bit of a skip there. Ooh. Let's steal a car. Let's get off the car, please. Get on the car. Get in the car. This is very smooth. I am surprised. Where's the fist button? There we go. Oh, steal this car. There we go. We apologize for the language there. There we go. See? Surprisingly. Now this isn't reflective of all of the games though. Most of them are very acceptably just slightly slower than typical HD games on HD display. So there you go. Very promising Kata M1 performance despite the slightly tougher Full HD display to render games on. So there you go. That's I should censor that. Anyway, there you go. Alright guys, so I think that's about it for the Kata M1, a very promising phablet. Not the best for gaming, but still pretty good. The camera is pretty good, battery life is excellent, and the display looks great. Design is pretty good. A little bit slippery right now when I'm sweaty, but still a very good design phablet. Not big bezels, and it doesn't look actually super big, but it is pretty big. So the pros and cons here. Number one is long-lasting battery. I have not been able to test some of the bigger battery phones that I've reviewed before, but this is currently the number one in battery life from the ones I've tested, so that's still a big thing. 6 hours 59 minutes on video playback, which is quite impressive because most of the phones I've tested only give 4 hours, and on practical use it definitely does last around maybe a few hours to several hours longer than typical phones. Number two is the large high quality display. I do not have any complaint about this display. It just looks pretty good, really good. And the glass on top, the sort of curved glass, is doing a nice doing really good in terms of making the display pop out, and I like the curved glass. I really like it. Smooth stock Android. I really love this. This gives me a massive, boner, because most phones at the with the Full HD and the 6589 Turbo have problems with the interface. Not with stock Android. Stock Android runs fine. I do believe this is maybe a derivative of Nova Launcher, but it is as stock as possible, so that's great. The camera is also very good. Like I said, I've shown you some pictures before. I'll show you some at the end of the video, but the camera quality is above average. Not the best I've seen, but it is high up there. And I did not mention this, I think. This has 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of internal storage plus micro SD. So you're getting a lot of memory, a lot of storage, plus USB OTG capabilities, and 4,000 milliamp hour battery. It's doing it a lot, doing a lot of things by a lot. So 2 gigs of storage, RAM, 16 gigs of storage plus micro SD. So that's some of the positives there. Now the cons here is there is no one-handed mode. Some of a good little trick here for phablets is that they add the one-handed mode. This is not. That's not capable of doing that, so that's a bit of a limitation there, but I do prefer stock Android over one-handed mode. Number two, not best for gaming. Now you could get better frame rates on lower resolution phones, but you will sacrifice the quality of this display. The display on this is really good, so it's a bit of a trade-off. Not best for gaming right there. And number three, it is a little bit pricey, $11,999. I don't know if they'll stick to that price or lower it, but At 12,000 pesos, that is a bit competing with some of the lower priced octa-core phones out there. Although in terms of performance and price and battery life, I think this is a little bit better. I mean, in battery life at least, and the display quality and stuff like that. So there you have it. That is the Kata M1. Pretty impressive phablet. If you like good cameras and large displays and great battery life, this might be for you. And the occasional gaming, I guess. The occasional gaming will be covered with this guy. So that's about it. I'm Alex from TechnoClass.com. That has been the Kata M1. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next review or whatever video I'll put up. See you guys.